Don't get your flower petals on my gown, maid. The words cracked like a whip, loud enough to draw glances in the elegant church. Aaliyah Johnson paused mid-motion, her hands still delicately tying a white rose bouquet to the altar's edge. The fresh floral scent mingled with the sharp burn of humiliation choking her throat. She didn't turn yet. She'd learned to breathe through these insults, like navigating a field of hidden barbs. Why's someone that grubby even here? Another bridesmaid sneered, her tone slicing like shards. Did the flower shop send the janitor instead? Laughter erupted. Aaliyah kept her gaze on her hands, pulling the final ribbon tight. The arrangement of roses and lilies quivered slightly in her fingers. She whispered under her breath. Not in defeat, but in restraint. She'd endured it before. At one gig, a guest asked if she was the help or the hired hand. At another, a woman quipped, "Oh, they must be giving charity jobs to locals now. How quaint." If Aaliyah's quiet strength touches you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories of resilience. Drop a comment with where you're watching from and what time it is. Maybe we're sharing this moment across the globe. Aaliyah straightened her back, wiping sweat from her brow with the back of her sleeve. Her dark curls were pulled into a tight bun, practical for the job, but now it felt like a shield against their stares. She adjusted the strap of her worn canvas bag, stuffed with extra stems and wire cutters. This wasn't her dream gig. Hell, it wasn't even close. Back in high school, she'd been top of her class, scribbling essays that won contests, dreaming of college scholarships and a desk job where her brain mattered more than her hands. But life had other plans. Grandma's stroke hit hard, and Aaliyah dropped out of community college to care for her, picking up floral work to pay the bills. It paid okay, kept food on the table, but days like this, they chipped away at her soul. The bridesmaids clustered near the pews, all in matching champagne dresses that screamed money. Brittany Hayes, the bride, led the pack, a real estate mogul who'd flipped half the city's downtown properties into luxury condos. Her fiancé was some big-shot investor, the kind who golfed with senators. The suitable Dow? A mix of influencers with perfect Instagram feeds and high-powered bankers who probably never worried about rent. They hovered like vultures, phones out, snapping selfies while eyeing Aaliyah like she was a stain on the carpet. Seriously, look at her outfit, one whispered loud enough to carry, a blonde with a diamond necklace that could pay Aaliyah's rent for a year. Jeans and a t-shirt? At a wedding like this? Girl, know your place. More giggles. Aaliyah's cheeks burned, but she bit her lip, focusing on the next bouquet. Her hands shook as she wired a lily stem. Place? Her place was right here, doing the job they paid her for. But to them, she was invisible, until she wasn't, until she became the punchline. Brittany sauntered over, her veil trailing like a royal train. Hey, you, she snapped, not even bothering with a name. Make sure those flowers don't wilt before the photos. I don't want any cheap-looking crap ruining my shots. Aaliyah nodded, murmuring a quiet, "Yes, ma'am," her voice steady despite the knot in her gut. Brittany's eyes narrowed, scanning Aaliyah up and down. And maybe stand back a bit? We don't need the help photobombing the altar. The group burst into laughter again. One of the influencers, a redhead with 1 million followers, pulled out her phone. Oh my God, this is gold. Caption, when the florist thinks she's part of the bridal party. She snapped a quick pic. Aaliyah bent over the arrangement in the frame. Aaliyah caught the flash, her heart pounding. Not again. She'd seen it happen to others. Pics going viral, turning folks into memes for laughs. Her fingers tightened on the wire cutter, knuckles whitening. She thought of her grandpa then, the stories Grandma told. He'd marched in the civil rights protests, facing down hoses and dogs without flinching. We don't bow, baby girl, he'd say. We stand tall, even when they try to knock us down. And her dad, Staff Sergeant Marcus Johnson, gone missing after his last deployment. Letters stopped coming years ago, but Aaliyah still hoped. She pulled a faded photo from her pocket, hidden in her wallet. Dad in uniform, holding her as a baby, his smile proud and strong. I'm still here, Daddy, she muttered, shoving it back before tears could fall. The bridesmaids weren't done. Bet she wishes she could afford a dress like ours, the banker chick said, flipping her hair. Too bad some people are just born for the background. Aaliyah's jaw clenched. Born for it? No, she'd fought for every scrap. Top grades, essay awards. Hell, she'd even started college on a partial scholarship before grandma's health tanked. Now, she was the help, the one they mocked to feel big. Brittany circled back, inspecting the flowers like they were suspects. Not bad, I guess. But next time, send someone who fits the vibe. You know, less urban. The word hung there, loaded like a gun. Aaliyah swallowed hard, her throat dry. Urban. Code for black, for poor, for not belonging in their shiny world. She wanted to snap back, to tell them about her family's legacy, grandpa's marches, dad's sacrifices. But words stuck. Instead, she nodded, grabbing her bag to head to the next pew. As she walked away, she heard the redhead again. Posted it. Hashtag wedding fails. This'll get likes. Aaliyah's phone buzzed in her pocket. A notification? No, couldn't be. But dread pooled in her stomach. She slipped into a side room, away from the chatter, rubbing her temples. Her chest tightened, not from tears, but from the rage she bottled up. One day she'd uncork it. But today? Today she just had to finish the job. The church bells chimed softly outside, signaling the ceremony's approach. Aaliyah took a deep breath, stepping back into the fray. Little did she know that the real storm was brewing. Aaliyah ducked into the side prep room, the door clicking shut behind her like a temporary shield. The space smelled of stale coffee and leftover incense, a quiet bubble away from the bridesmaids' cackles. She slumped against the wall, her canvas bag thudding to the floor. Her hands still trembled from tying that last ribbon, but now the shakes came from deeper rage bubbling under her skin like a pot about to boil over. Come on, girl, hold it together, she muttered to herself, pressing her palms to her eyes. She'd whispered mantras like this before, little lifelines to keep from snapping. They're just words. Words don't pay the bills. But damn, they stung. Brittany's urban jab replayed in her head, twisting like a knife. Urban? As if her black skin was some kind of code for not belonging. Aaliyah paced the small room, her sneakers squeaking on the linoleum. She grabbed a water bottle from her bag, chugging it down to cool the fire in her chest. Focus on the job, she thought. Get paid, get out. That's the game. But the hurt dug in. She pulled out her phone, scrolling to avoid thinking, but there it was, a notification ping. The influencer's post, already up with likes rolling in. Aaliyah's face bent over the flowers, captioned, "When the help crashes the party, just wedding fails, you should know your place." Her stomach flipped. Comments poured in. Lowell, awkward. Why is she even there? One even said, bet she snuck in for free cake. Aaliyah powered off the screen, shoving the phone away. Not today. She wouldn't let them see her crack. She straightened up, smoothing her t-shirt, ready to head back out. But the door creaked open. An older guy poked his head in. Gray hair, glasses, camera slung around his neck. You okay in here? He asked, his voice soft, like a grandpa checking on a kid after a fall. Aaliyah froze, wiping her face quickly. Yeah, just taking a breather. She eyed him warily, but he didn't look like the mocking type. More like someone who'd seen some stuff. He stepped in a bit, adjusting his glasses. Raymond Hughes. I shoot weddings, but I used to cover local news. You look familiar. Wait, you're Aaliyah Johnson, right? From that essay contest a few years back? The one on civil rights history? Her eyes widened. How'd you... Yeah, that was me. Wrote about my grandpa's marches. She hadn't thought about that win in ages. It got her a scholarship nod, but life steamrolled it. Raymond nodded, smiling warmly. Unforgettable piece. You said something like, history doesn't march alone. It pulls us forward if we let it. Clipped it from my scrapbook. And look at you now, arranging these flowers. They're stunning, by the way. Not just pretty, there's strength in how you placed them, like they're standing tall against the wind. Aaliyah's shoulders eased a tad. Thanks, I try to make 'em mean something. Roses for resilience, you know. For the first time that day, she felt seen, not as the help, but as someone with talent. Raymond's words hit like a bomb, cooling the burn. He lingered a second. Don't let those girls out there dim your light. You've got fire. Keep writing, even if it's with petals for now. He patted her arm gently and slipped out, leaving the door ajar. Aaliyah exhaled, a small smile tugging at her lips. Maybe not everyone's a jerk. She grabbed her bag, stepping back into the hallway, but before she could rejoin the chaos, a soft voice called from the side entrance. "Excuse me, dear. Could you help an old lady out?" She turned. An elderly white woman in a wheelchair, pearls around her neck, a navy shawl draped over her shoulders, her hands folded neatly in her lap, spotted with age but steady. "I need a hand getting to the side door. These ramps are tricky." Aaliyah moved quickly, gently. "Of course, ma'am." She gripped the handles, wheeling her slowly down the corridor. The woman looked up, eyes kind. "What's your name, honey?" "Aaliyah Johnson." The woman blinked, tilting her head. "Johnson? Like Sergeant Marcus Johnson?" Aaliyah's heart skipped. "That's my dad. You knew him?" The old lady smiled wistfully. "Knew him? He saved my life. Back in '94, Somalia, I was a Red Cross nurse. Building collapsed, gunfire everywhere. He carried me out on his back, through the rubble. Never forgot those eyes. Full of heart, even in hell." Aaliyah swallowed hard, her grip tightening on the handles. I didn't know. He went missing after that tour. No word since." Memories flooded, Dad's letters, his voice on old voicemails, promising he'd come home. Hope had faded, but hearing this, it cracked something open. Eleanor squeezed her hand. "He was a hero, child. People mock what they fear, strength like yours. But you carry his fire. Don't let him snuff it." Tears pricked Aaliyah's eyes. "Thank you. That means everything." She helped Eleanor settle near the entrance, the woman's words echoing like a lifeline. For the first time that day, the weight felt lighter. As Aaliyah turned to leave, Eleanor's voice followed. "Some days, God puts you in the room to remind folks who's really watching." Aaliyah nodded, stepping away, her steps firmer. The storm inside quieted, but the whispers of endurance grew louder. Aaliyah stepped back into the main hall, the echo of Eleanor's words still buzzing in her ears like a faint radio signal. She scanned the room, bridesmaids fluttering around like overpriced butterflies, Brittany barking orders at the caterers. Her phone buzzed again in her pocket, but she ignored it. No time for that noise. She grabbed a fresh bundle of lilies from her bag, heading to the side altar to tweak the setup. Keep moving, she thought. Motion drowns out the mess. But Brittany spotted her quickly, like a hawk on a mouse. There she is, the flower girl who's stealing the show. Brittany's voice dripped sarcasm, loud enough for her crew to hear. The suitable Dow gathered, phones at the ready. "Hey, everyone, let's get a group pic with our unexpected guest star." The blonde banker chick smirked, aiming her camera. "Smile for the gram." Aaliyah's gut twisted. She forced her hands steady, wiring a stem without looking up. "Just finishing up here," she said, voice even, like she'd practiced in the mirror. Inside, her mind raced. Don't feed the trolls, don't let them win. But the comments flew faster. "Oh, come on, pose with us. You could be our diversity hire." Laughter rippled. The influencer redhead chimed in, "Hashtag inclusive wedding. Or should I say, intrusive." She bit her tongue, tasting blood. These weren't kids pulling pigtails. They were grown women, decked in designer gear, wielding privilege like a club. Aaliyah glanced at her reflection in a nearby window. Jeans faded from too many washes, t-shirt with a small tear at the hem. Yeah, she didn't fit their glossy vibe. But screw that. She thought of Raymond's words. "You've got fire." She straightened, tying the lily with a sharp tug. "Fire doesn't bend." One of the influencers leaned in closer, whispering to her friend but loud on purpose. "I heard she dropped out of school. Wasted potential, right? Classic story." Aaliyah's ears burned. How'd they know that? Small-town gossip? Or just assuming because of her skin? She clenched her jaw, focusing on the petals. Soft, white, perfect. Everything she wasn't in their eyes. Brittany circled like a shark. "Make sure those don't clash with my veil. I paid top dollar for this day. No room for errors." She paused, eyeing Aaliyah. "Or extras?" The group snickered. Aaliyah nodded, swallowing the lump in her throat. Extras. Like she was some prop they could toss aside. She wanted to snap back, tell them about her A's in history, her essays that made teachers cry. But nah, that'd just fuel their fire. She slipped her hand into her pocket, fingers brushing the wallet photo of Dad, his uniform crisp, eyes fierce yet kind. Never let him dim you, kiddo, he'd say in her memories. She squeezed it, drawing strength. Grandma's voice echoed too. We rise above, but we remember. Aaliyah exhaled slowly, tying another knot. Remember this, she thought. One day it'll matter. Raymond appeared at the edge of the group, camera in hand. He caught her eye, giving a subtle nod. Flowers look killer, he called over, loud enough to cut through the chatter. Real artistry. The bridesmaids paused, glancing his way. Brittany rolled her eyes. Yeah, whatever. Just don't block the shots. But Raymond lingered, adjusting his lens near Aaliyah. Hang in there, he murmured. Their crap says more about them than you. Aaliyah managed a tight smile. Thanks. Means a lot. His encouragement stuck like glue, patching the cracks. She finished the altar, stepping back to admire it. Damn, it was good. Elegant, strong, like her roots. Eleanor wheeled up from the side, her nurse aide trailing behind. Dear, could you spare a minute? Aaliyah knelt, grateful for the break. Sure, what's up? Eleanor's eyes sparkled. Your dad, he wasn't just brave. He had heart. After he pulled me out, he checked on me every day in the med tent, shared his rations, told stories about his little girl back home, said she'd change the world someday. Aaliyah's breath hitched. He talked about me? Eleanor nodded. All the time. Proud as punch. You've got his spirit. Quiet but unbreakable. Tears welled, but Aaliyah blinked him back. I miss him. Thought he was gone for good. Eleanor patted her hand. Heroes don't vanish. They echo. The words landed heavily, stirring hope in Aaliyah's chest. Maybe Dad's legacy wasn't buried. Maybe it lived in her. But the moment was shattered. Her phone buzzed nonstop now. Texts from friends. She pulled it out, screen lighting up with notifications. The post had blown up. Hundreds of likes, shares, comments piling on. Who let her in? Trashy. Go back to the hood. Aaliyah's hands shook, the public shaming hitting like a freight train. Not just whispers anymore. Now the whole world could laugh. Brittany's voice cut through from across the room. See? Told you it'd go viral. Priceless. The bridesmaids high-fived, their glee twisting the knife. Aaliyah powered off the phone, stuffing it deep in her bag. Her face burned, but she lifted her chin. They wanted her broken? Hell no. She'd endure. Whispers turning to roars inside. The organ music swelled faintly, signaling showtime. Aaliyah grabbed her tools, heart pounding. The shadows of their privilege loomed, but her light flickered on. Aaliyah hovered near the bridal suite door, her ear pressed close enough to catch the venom without getting spotted. The wood was cool against her cheek, but inside the air crackled with their poison. She needed to grab her spare clippers from the prep area, but Brittany's voice sliced through first. Did you see her face when I called her urban? Priceless. Like she even knows what that means. The bridesmaids erupted in giggles, glasses clinking like they were toasting their cruelty. The redhead influencer piped up, totally, posted another pic. Caption, florist or fail? You decide. Already got 50 likes. This girl's meme gold. Aaliyah's fists balled at her sides, nails digging into palms. Meme gold. She was a person, not their damn entertainment. But she froze, breath shallow, listening despite the gut punch. The banker chick added, I mean, come on. Dropped out of school, slinging flowers? Wasted space if you ask me. Bet her family's the same, always taking handouts. Brittany laughed loudest. Exactly. If she breathes near the cake, I'm calling security. No trash at my wedding. Trash. The word hit Aaliyah like a slap, echoing her grandpa's old stories of signs that said, no coloreds. She backed away slowly, heart hammering. Enough. Finish the job. Bounce. She slipped into the main hall, dodging guests in tailored suits and pearls. The organ hummed softly, prepping for the march. Aaliyah beelined for the last pew, tweaking a wilting rose. Her mind raced. Get out before the ceremony kicks off. But Raymond caught her arm gently. You hanging in? He whispered, camera slung low. Barely, she admitted, voice low. They're ripping me apart in there. Posted more crap online. Raymond's face hardened. Idiots. Your work's the highlight here. Don't let 'em win. She nodded, forcing a grin. Trying. Just gotta wrap this up. He squeezed her shoulder. You've got this. Real strength shines quietly. Aaliyah moved to the vestibule, packing her tools. The church filled up. Politicians schmoozing, business folks networking like it was a boardroom. She felt their glances, quick and dismissing, invisible again. But Eleanor's words from earlier lingered. Heroes echo. She pulled Dad's photo one more time, tracing his face. Wish you could see this mess, she murmured. Hope flickered. Maybe he was out there somewhere. The doors swung wide, guests settling. Brittany emerged from the suite, radiant in silk, but her eyes scanned sharply. Spotting Aaliyah, she hissed to a bridesmaid, What's she still doing here? Tell her to scram. The blonde nodded, striding over. Hey, you're done, right? Beat it before you ruin the vibe. Aaliyah zipped her bag, standing tall. Just leaving. But inside, fury simmered. Ruin the vibe? They'd already trashed her day. She turned toward the exit, steps deliberate. No running, not today. But then, a shift. The side door creaked open, and a figure stepped in. Tall, broad-shouldered, in a crisp military uniform. Dark skin, gray at the temples, posture ramrod straight. He scanned the room slowly, eyes locking on the altar. Then the bridesmaids. Whispers started. Who's that? Some vet crashing? Aaliyah paused, something familiar tugging at her gut. Those eyes. The man moved quietly down the aisle's edge, not drawing full attention yet, but heads turned. Brittany frowned from the back, veil askew. Security? Who's this guy? Her voice carried, edged with annoyance. The groomsmen shifted, flasks tucked away quickly. The organist hit a wrong note, recovering fast. Aaliyah froze near the column, bag slung over her shoulder. The soldier stopped midway, his gaze sweeping the crowd. He caught her eye for a split second. Recognition? No, couldn't be. But her heart raced. He adjusted his beret, metals glinting under the lights. Whispers grew. Looks official. Think he's lost? Raymond lowered his camera nearby, murmuring to Aaliyah. Something's off. He doesn't look like a guest. She nodded, pulse thumping. The air thickened, like before a thunderstorm. Brittany marched forward a step, hands on her hips. Excuse me? This is a private event. The soldier didn't flinch. He stood taller, voice booming suddenly. I need this ceremony paused. Gasps rippled. The organ cut out mid-note. Brittany's face paled. What the hell? The groomsman stepped up, chest puffed. Buddy, you got the wrong church. But the man held his ground, eyes steady. No, I'm exactly where I need to be. Whispers exploded, phones out, heads craning. Brittany shot a glare at Aaliyah, like this was her fault. Tension coiled tight, the storm ready to break. The soldier's words hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot. I need this ceremony paused. The organist's hands froze mid-chord, the notes dying into silence. Guests shifted in their seats, murmurs rippling like a wave. Brittany's face twisted, her veil slipping as she stomped forward. Who the hell are you? This is my wedding. Aaliyah gripped the column tighter, her bag digging into her shoulder. The man's voice boomed again, steady as steel. My name is Major Marcus Johnson, United States Army, retired, and I won't stand by while injustice plays out in this house of God. Gasps sucked the oxygen from the room. Aaliyah's knees buckled. Johnson? Her last name. No way! Her heart slammed against her ribs, eyes locked on him. Those features, strong jaw, deep-set eyes, familiar like staring into an old mirror. The officiant stammered from the altar, book clutched tight. Sir, this is a private event. Please. Marcus cut him off, stepping forward, boots echoing on the marble. Private? Nah, not when it involves humiliating my daughter. His finger pointed straight at Aaliyah, frozen in the back. The room spun. Daughter? Aaliyah's breath caught, tears blurring her vision. It couldn't be. Dad, missing for years, presumed gone. But here he was, flesh and blood, metals shining like accusations. Brittany's mouth gaped, then snapped shut. You're what? This is bullshit. Her fiancé, the slick investor type, grabbed her arm. Babe, chill. Security. But no one moved. Guests leaned in. Phones sneaking pics. Marcus didn't flinch. I've seen war zones hotter than this. Men are dying with their last breath for their families. And you? His gaze swept the bridesmaids, pinning them like bugs. You treated Aaliyah like dirt. I watched it all, from the snide comments to the viral posts, mocking her skin, her job, her existence. Aaliyah's world tilted. He'd seen? How long had he been here? She edged forward, legs numb. The blonde banker chick paled, phone slipping from her hand. We were just joking. Marcus's laugh barked harshly. Joking? Calling her grubby, urban? Posting pics to tear her down? That's not humor. That's hate wrapped in privilege. He turned to Brittany. And you, the queen bee, leading the pack. Know your place? Lady, her place is anywhere she damn well chooses. The room erupted in whispers. He's her dad? No way. Raymond lowered his camera slowly, eyes wide. Eleanor clapped once from her wheelchair, then again, the sound cutting through. A few guests joined, uncertain. Brittany flushed red. This is insane. Get him out. But Marcus pressed on, voice thunderous. My family's bled for this country. My father marched in Selma, facing down dogs for rights you take for granted. I fought overseas, lost years to red tape that buried my records. Thought I was gone? Nah, I clawed back. And today I find my girl enduring this crap? Aaliyah reached the aisle's edge, tears streaming. Dad! The word choked out, raw. Marcus's eyes softened for a split second, then hardened back on the crowd. She's Aaliyah Johnson, daughter of a soldier, granddaughter of a fighter, top of her class, scholarship kid who dropped everything for family. And you reduced her to a punchline? He zeroed in on the redhead. You with the phone, 50 likes on her pain? Shame on you. The influencer shrank, deleting the post frantically. Guests murmured louder, some nodding. A politician in the front row shifted uncomfortably, whispering to his wife. Brittany's fiancé stepped up. Look, man, we can talk this out later. Let's not ruin. Marcus cut him off. Ruin? You already did that to her. He gestured at Aaliyah. But she stood tall. Grace under fire, that's real strength. Not your fake smiles and fat wallets. Aaliyah's chest heaved, emotions crashing. Pride swelled. Dad, alive, defending her like a lion. But rage, too, at the years lost. She stepped closer, the crowd parting. Marcus continued. How many of you saw it, heard the laughs, and said zip? Love in this room? Start by loving your neighbor, not stepping on him. Eleanor clapped harder, a few more joining. The officiant cleared his throat. Sir, I respect your service, but... No buts, Marcus snapped. This ends now. He locked eyes with Aaliyah, voice dropping. Baby girl, I'm sorry I was gone, but I'm here. Tears broke free. The bridesmaids stood ghost white, Brittany trembling, bouquet wilting in her grip. Whispers turned to outright talk. He's right. Poor girl. The energy shifted, shame thick as fog. Brittany exploded. This is my day. You can't just... But her voice cracked, guests averting eyes. The officiant sighed. Folks, I think we can't proceed. Murmurs swelled to chaos. Brittany stormed off, veil trailing, suitable Tao scattering like rats. Aaliyah reached Marcus, hands shaking. Is it really you? He nodded, pulling her close. The room watched, the wedding crumbling in hushed disgrace. Aaliyah's legs gave way first, but Marcus caught her, his arms wrapping around like steel cables forged in fire. She buried her face in his uniform, the fabric rough against her cheek, smelling of starch and distant memories. Sobs racked her body, hot tears soaking through. Dad! Oh God, Dad! She choked out, clutching him tight as if he'd vanish again. The room blurred, guests whispering, Brittany frozen mid-rant. The officiant fumbling his book. But none of it mattered. This was real. He was here. Marcus held her steady, his voice a low rumble in her ear. I'm sorry, baby girl. So damn sorry. His hand stroked her back, calluses rough from years of grit. Aaliyah pulled back just enough to look up, searching his eyes. those same deep brown pools from the photo, now lined with time and pain. "Where were you? We all thought you were gone." Her words tumbled out, raw and accusing, but laced with relief that hit like a tidal wave. He nodded slowly, throat bobbing. "Off the grid. Somalia turned to Yemen. Captured, records scrambled. By the time I fought free, everything was messed up. Letters bounced, calls dropped. I hunted for you. But life, it buried me too." Aaliyah's fist bunched his shirt. "I waited. Every birthday, every holiday. Grandma died thinking you'd come back." Marcus's eyes glistened. "I know, I failed you. But seeing you today, enduring that crap, no more hiding." She hugged him fiercer, the dam breaking, years of loneliness pouring out in shaky breaths. The crowd shifted uneasily, whispers turning to coughs. Raymond snapped a quiet photo, then lowered his camera respectfully. Eleanor wheeled closer, her clap echoing solo at first, then picking up steam from scattered guests. Brittany's face contorted. "This is nuts! Security! Get them out!" But her fiancé yanked her back. "Not now, Britt. It's over." The bridesmaids scattered to the sides, phones hidden, faces ashen like they'd seen a ghost. Aaliyah stepped back, wiping her eyes with her sleeve. Strength surged, not just from the hug but from his words earlier. "You saw it all? The mocking?" Marcus nodded grimly. "Every bit, and it ends here." She straightened, voice finding steel. "I'm not invisible anymore." For the first time, she faced the room head-on, chin high. "I came to work, not to beg for scraps, but you all treated me like garbage." Her gaze drilled into Brittany. "Thank you for reminding me I'm stronger than your BS." Brittany sputtered. "You can't talk to me like—" But Aaliyah cut her off. "I just did." Gas rippled. Marcus grinned faintly, pride flashing. The officiant cleared his throat. "Folks, I think we're done here." Guests rose awkwardly, filing out in murmurs. Brittany stormed off, veil whipping, her perfect day shattered. Outside, under the church's magnolia shade, Aaliyah and Marcus stood alone as chaos spilled out behind. She leaned against him, the world steadying. "What now?" He squeezed her shoulder. "We rebuild, starting with you." Inspiration hit her like lightning, Eleanor's echoes, Raymond's fire. "I want to do something. For folks like me, silenced." Marcus nodded. "Lead the way." Weeks blurred into action. Aaliyah rented a dingy community center room, slapping up flyers. Echo voices, share your story, find your strength. First meeting? Sparse. 10 folks. Folding chairs, creaking. A janitor shared getting called boy at 60. A waitress talked about viral humiliation. Aaliyah went last. "They mocked me at a wedding, but I stood up. We all can." Tears flowed, hugs followed. The group grew, 20, then 50. Word spread, a safe space for the overlooked. But backlash hit fast. Brittany, stewing in her ruined honeymoon glow, struck first. Texts from unknown numbers. "Watch your back, Maid." Then the rumors, online forums buzzing. "That florist chick's a fraud," stirring drama for clout. Aaliyah scrolled late nights, stomach nodding. "They're coming for me," she told Marcus over coffee. He slammed his mug. "Let 'em. We've faced worse." It escalated. A lawyer's letter arrived. "Cease," stamped with Brittany's firm. "Defamation. Shut down or sue." Aaliyah's hands shook while reading it. "They're scared," Marcus said. "Good." But fear gnawed. Then the break-in. The center's windows smashed. "Go home," spray-painted red. Glass crunched under her sneakers as she surveyed the mess. "This is war," she muttered, sweeping shards with a broom. Calls poured in, supporters rallying, but threats too. "Quit while ahead," one voicemail hissed. Aaliyah paced the wrecked room, fire reigniting. "No, we push harder." She called a meeting that night. Chairs circled amid the debris. "They want us quiet? We'll shout." Stories poured out fiercer. Laborers, victims of bias. Echo voices swelled, a beacon in the storm. Brittany's crew amped up. More posts. "Liar alert." But Aaliyah stood firm, voice unbreakable. Awakening hit full force. She wasn't just surviving, she was fighting back. The envelope slid under the community center door at dawn. No stamp, no sender, just Aaliyah's name scrawled in Sharpie. She spotted it sweeping up last night's coffee cups, the room still humming from the latest Echo Voices session. Her gut twisted. "What now?" she muttered, ripping it open. Inside, a thumb drive and a note. "They buried this. Time to dig." No signature, but the postmark screamed inside her. Aaliyah plugged it into her laptop, Marcus peering over her shoulder. Files popped up. Emails, memos, spreadsheets. Her eyes widened. Holy crap. Zoning denials for black-owned spots, permits yanked, and look, Brittany's ex-fiance's name all over it. He's knee-deep in pushing folks out for his developments. Marcus whistled low. Systematic, connected to City Hall bigwigs. Aaliyah's fingers flew, cross-checking. This ties to everything. Jobs lost, neighborhoods gutted. It's not just me. It's a network screwing people over. Drama hit like a freight train. Brittany's crew amped up. Anonymous calls, drop it or regret it. Aaliyah's phone lit up with threats. "You're done, troublemaker." She paced the center, adrenaline pumping. "They know we've got dirt." Marcus grabbed her shoulders. "We go public. Hit 'em where it hurts." She nodded, fire igniting. "Next forum. We blow it wide open." The big session packed the hall. Standing room only, mics hot. Aaliyah stood front and center, thumb drive in hand. "We've shared stories. Now proof." She projected the files, voices rising as details dropped. This network, led by power players like Brittany Hayes' ex, rigged the game. Denied permits, jacked taxes on our communities. Gasps echoed. A retiree stood. "That's why my shop closed." Whispers turned to shouts. Brittany's name drew boos. Outside, word spread fast. Protesters gathered, signs waving. "Expose the rot!" Aaliyah led the march to City Hall, Marcus at her side, arm linked. "We demand answers," she yelled into a bullhorn. Cops lined up, shields ready. A counter crowd jeered. Brittany's allies, suits yelling fake news. Battens tapped palms. Aaliyah's pulse thundered. "They want us scared," she told Marcus. He gripped her hand. "We face them head on." Clash brewed. A shove here, a chant there. "No justice, no peace." A cop barked, "Disperse!" But then Raymond pushed through, camera flashing. "Got the docs on film. Undeniable." He held up prints, crowd surging. Eleanor wheeled up front, mic in lap. "I saw it firsthand. Decades of this crap." Aaliyah's right. "Time's up." Her voice cut sharply and the elders nodded fiercely. The tide turned. Media swarmed. Cameras rolling as supporters flooded in. "We're with you," a teen yelled, phone live streaming. Cops backed off, City Hall doors cracking under pressure. Brittany's ex ducked out a side exit, face pale on the newsfeed. Aaliyah climbed the steps, bullhorn booming. "This ain't just my fight, it's ours." Cheers drowned the haters. Momentum snowballed. Echo Voices went viral. Chapters popping in Atlanta, Chicago, and LA. Calls flooded. "How do we start one?" Aaliyah fielded them late nights, voice hoarse but strong. "Share your truth. Build from there." Federal eyes turned. DOJ sniffing the files. "Probe launched," headlines screamed. Indictments dropped. Brittany's ex first, then council cronies. Corruption ring busted. Reforms rolled out. Zoning audits, equity grants. Aaliyah watched from the center, now buzzing with volunteers. "We did this," she told Marcus over takeout. He grinned. "You did. From florist to force." She shook her head. "Us." Echoes multiplying. Teens flocked, young black girls mirroring her fire. "You showed us how," one said, eyes shining. Aaliyah hugged her. "Now you lead." From invisible arranger to spotlight shaker, Aaliyah stood taller. Echo Voices sprawled nationwide, proving shadows breed change. Voices from the dark? They roared now, reshaping the world one truth at a time. And that's the story of Aaliyah Johnson. A reminder that silence in the face of injustice only lets it fester. But standing up with your heritage and community behind you can spark real, lasting change. It's not just about one wedding gone wrong. It's about turning pain into power and lifting others along the way. Now think about this. Have you ever been in a situation where speaking your truth changed everything? Or wish you had? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you've turned shadows into light. Stick around, folks. Next video will uncover another gripping tale of everyday folks flipping the script on systemic bias, with twists that'll keep you hooked. Thanks from the bottom of my heart for watching and reflecting with me today. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care out there.